going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by, and welcome to another episode of Monthly Movie Wrap Up, where I go over everything I watched in the month: movies, TV shows, documentaries, all that stuff, and do little mini reviews on each one. I don't know what that was. If that sounds good to you, give this video a like and let's jump right into it. Now, for a few seconds, I just want to tell you about something that I'll be doing Saturday night. This Saturday, the 6th. March 6th, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be going live with my good buddy, Garret from Born to Be Rad. He has a really fun channel. We have really similar tastes in movies, and we're going to be talking about what is probably my favorite 80s comedy of all time. Some of you, if you've been watching for a while, you might know what that is, so tune into his channel. I'll link it below. We will be going live talking about my favorite 80s comedy of all time. So stay tuned. All right, now let's jump right into the monthly movie wrap up. I make these videos every single month, so if you're looking for recommendations, if you're looking for good new TV shows, movies, if you're looking for stuff to watch, if you're in desperate need of recommendations for movies, these are the videos for you. I do one every month. I'll link the playlist below so you can watch my past episodes. But this month, I think I have about probably 15, I think, movies that I'm going through. I got my Letterboxd pulled up here. If you guys don't already have Letterboxd, you need to download it. It's a great app to keep track of everything that you watch. It's really, really cool. So I'm gonna pull up my little diary here, my little movie diary, and we're gonna dive right in. Starting with February. Now, the first movie, Gretel and Hansel, which I had been, for whatever reason, just kind of putting off. I wasn't really interested in seeing the movie for whatever reason. I'm not really even sure why. It just didn't tickle my fancy when I saw the trailer and stuff. Although it looked beautiful, it just didn't look like my kind of movie for whatever reason. I finally gave in after I found out it was directed by Oz Perkins, who also directed one of my favorite movies as of late, The Black Coat's Daughter. I absolutely love that movie. That movie blew me away, and I saw that it was directed by the same director, and I wanted to check it out, and I was not let down. Gretel and Hansel was awesome. It was so beautifully shot. The atmosphere, the colors, the cinematography, the framing. It was just such a unique movie to look at just by the imagery and the visual stuff alone. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and the performances were amazing. It's obviously a dark take on Gretel and Hansel, or Hansel and Gretel. I know there was some stupid controversy about people not liking this movie or not wanting to see it because Gretel's name was before Hansel. It's so stupid. Just, I highly recommend this movie. It was really, really cool. There's some really creepy, super atmospheric scares in here. It's definitely a slow burn. If you've seen Oz Perkins' other, I hope I'm saying his name right. Yeah, Oz Perkins. If you've seen his other movies, he definitely has a slow burn quality to his movies, but oh my god, it absolutely blew me away. I highly recommend Gretel and Hansel. I'm sure you're kind of familiar with the story, but the two kids are walking through the forest and stumble upon the witch's house, which is really, really cool. It's really designed awesomely. The architecture of the house is really cool, but as they slowly start figuring out that something isn't quite right with this lady, like for instance, every day they wake up and there's just this amazing, like, Hook style feast ready for them on the table. If anybody ever seen Hook.
You lewd, crude, rude, bag of pre-chewed food, dude.
Make it right, Peter!
Where there's just this bounty of like cakes and pastries and savory meals and meats and all this amazing food, but there's no garden around, there's no farm, there's no animals, so they're like, where's this bitch getting this food, man? This is crazy. And they just start realizing that something isn't quite right. And the witch is actually played by the mom in Sleepwalkers. I'm a big fan of Sleepwalkers. I love that movie. So anyway, I'm gonna end up, this video is gonna be 5 hours long if I talk about each movie this long, but I really loved Gretel and Hansel. I'm really excited to talk about a lot of these movies in this list. Watched a bunch of really good stuff this month. Next, 1980s Fade to Black. Eric Binford, played by, what was his name? I need to get a tablet in front of me so I'm not looking over. Sorry to be rude, I'm just taking a look at my phone here. Dennis Christopher plays Eric Binford, who is this like reclusive, movie-obsessed, kind of depressed, loner type of guy, all right? And he works at this movie distribution company where they have hundreds of thousands of these reels of films and advertisement and stuff, and he's kind of a courier. He drives around this little bike that has a card on it, and he delivers films to people. Eric Binford plays this kind of sad, lonely, movie-obsessed character. He is just obsessed with movie characters doing impressions of them. A lot of times there's these scenes where he's standing in front of the mirror, like taking on the persona of all these people that he idolizes in all of these different movies, whether it's Dracula or Western movies or classic movies, you know, Humphrey Bogart. They're all like pretty classic stuff, but there are some horror characters too. And everybody just treats him like shit. There was an incident that happened early in his life that affected his aunt's life, who he lives with now. She just completely resents him. She's an absolute bitch to him. People at work treat him like shit, and he's just a really put upon guy. But there's one incident with this beautiful lady that really pushes him over the edge, and he's just had enough. He has his Michael Douglas like falling down moment.
You have to order something from the lunch menu.
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast.
Hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry too.
And he just decides enough is enough, and he's going to take care of all these people that have done him wrong. It's an amazing movie. It's not like a super gory, like a gutsy slasher movie, but it's a really unique character study, and I couldn't help but kind of find myself relating to Eric Binford's character, just kind of just being lost in the movies, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are if you're watching movie channels on YouTube. You guys get it, just being obsessed with movies and kind of getting lost in them. And I just love the movie for that. It's a really unique movie. I highly recommend seeking it out. I picked up a Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray release, which looks gorgeous. The slipcover's cool. I haven't checked in a while. There may be a slipcover version of this movie. You physical media folks know about this, but if you're not into physical media yet, or you're just dipping your toes into it, this would be a great release to pick up if you're into 80s movies. Next up, The Endless, another movie that absolutely blew me away. I'm so stoked to be talking about all these movies. My dog wants to get up here. This is Pete. Pete's a staple of the channel. He's in a lot of my videos. Say what's up, Pete. That's right. Hey, buddy. That's right, buddy. Have you said enough? Okay, we'll go on a walk here in a little bit. I'm trying to hurry. I got to finish this video, and then we can go on a walk. Okay, bud? It's 72 degrees right now in Kansas City, compared to in the past few weeks where we were like negative 14 a couple weeks ago, and then now it's 72. It's crazy, so I got to get him out on a walk. Anyway, what the fuck I'm talking about. The Endless. This movie was badass. Another high recommend. I really hit some good luck with all the stuff I watched this year. Now, this movie was directed by Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, the two filmmakers, the filmmaking team behind a movie called Spring, which is a movie that you absolutely must see. It's an amazing body horror creature feature love story hybrid that I just still think about all the time. It's such an incredible movie. Definitely watch that. I recommend that as well. But this is the same filmmaking team who made that, and they make these kind of really different, heady, kind of character-driven takes on these genre films. Like Spring was kind of a body horror creature feature, but not all the way. It's just so much more than that. To describe it as a creature feature or something like that would just be doing it a disservice. But it's an incredible movie, and they did it again with The Endless by taking what could have been kind of a played out story. It's a cult movie, kind of about a cult. Basically what happens is these two brothers receive a mysterious videotape, and on this videotape is somebody speaking to them from a cult that they left 10 years prior. It's super random. They get this tape. They're like, what the fuck is this? We need to go back. Reminded me of Lost for a second.
We have to go back, Kate.
But they decided something in them tells them that they need to go back and see what these cult members that they lived with for most of their lives are up to. So after 10 years, they decide they're going to go back and see what these crazy folks are up to. And it just takes some wild, mind-bending a turn. Nothing is as it seems, okay? There's some really bizarre twists, some kind of Christopher Nolan, time-bending style twist that this movie takes, and it's just super unique. All in all, The Endless is just absolutely incredible. They did another movie before this one that ties into this, that has some of the same characters, that kind of gives you a little bit of a bonus if you've already seen that, but I wouldn't say you necessarily have to see that movie first. It's just kind of a little bonus if you have. So they also just did a movie called Synchronic that just came out that I've yet to see, but I'm excited to see that one too. It looks pretty different too. Not getting as good of feedback from that one as their previous two films, but I'm not going to let the critics stray me away from seeing it. I will see it, but The Endless, high recommend, brilliant movie. Nothing but good things to say about it. Next up, Girl on the Third Floor. Now this is one of the duds, in my opinion, that I watched this month. And now it wasn't horrible. This movie ended up just being, here's average. It barely straddled that line of being average to the point where it dipped a little below to me. I gave this 2 stars out of 5. This MMA guy, I forget his name. He's this guy. He plays the lead in this movie, which I think is a lot of what took me out of the movie. The movie opens up with him at this big Victorian kind of house. He's kind of refinishing it. He's got a pregnant wife who is not there yet for some reason. She will be arriving soon to the house, but he's kind of trying to nest up and fix the house to get ready for her and his new child on the way. And as he starts fixing up the house, things start getting a little weird. This kind of sounds tropey, and it really is. He finds some black sludge in the walls. This girl keeps coming around who may not be on the up and up, and it kind of goes into like a ghost story kind of weird thing towards the end. There's a couple cool gore scenes at the end, but honestly, I couldn't give my movie watch recommendation to this one. It's okay. If you're kind of easily pleased with ghost stories, or you just like those simple ghost stories, you may dig it. It didn't do much for me. I think the lead actor had a lot to do with it, but I would pass on it. Next up, another hit for me this month was Saint Maud. I absolutely love this movie. Now, this is a bleak, dark, depressing, kind of downtrodden slow burn, but it's so good. It's so well written, well directed. It's just I found it to be really brilliant. I want you guys to go see it. I did a review for it, okay, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, and I didn't go too deep into the details of the plot, but I definitely emphasize the passion that I had for this movie because I absolutely loved it. It was my most anticipated movie of 2020, and then it got bumped to 2021, and then it ended up being my most anticipated movie of 2021, and it did not let me down. I absolutely loved it. It's actually a contender for my #1 movie of the year so far already, with another one that's a little later on this list. It tells a story of a caretaker who thinks God is dictating her every move, that she has this super deep connection with God, and it has a mind-blowing ending. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Go watch my review, give it some views, give it a like, give it some engagement, maybe drop a comment below that video and this one. Let me know what you guys think of these movies. Next, a movie called Ravage from 2019. Now, this is a movie that I absolutely, when I first started watching it, okay, it's a revenge story, okay? This girl is taking photographs in this beautiful like countryside landscape area. She's taking photographs, and she ends up seeing some very bad dudes doing some very bad stuff, okay? And she tries to go get help and let people know what's happening, and she starts to find out that maybe everybody in this little town ain't on her side. I'm gonna keep it really base level and kind of non-spoilery with my explanation, but I absolutely love this movie. I definitely gonna put this out there that I do recommend that you see Ravage. I had some issues with the storytelling, with the main character, and let me know below if you have seen this, or if you end up watching it, come back and let me know what you think. She makes some just fucking stupid decisions later on in the movie that normally I don't judge movie logic a whole lot, because we're watching a movie. You don't want to analyze every small decision. It'll take, you'll never be able to enjoy a movie if you analyze every second of every movie you watch. But this movie, the lead character makes such poor decisions to the point that it takes you out of the movie a little bit, and that was my only complaint, because as I was watching the movie the first 20, 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, God damn, this is awesome, because it's a revenge film that doesn't fall into the tropes that I hate about female-led revenge films, like I Spit on Your Grave and those other rape revenge movies. I'm just not a fan of those movies. I think a lot of them are bullshit. Maybe I'll make a whole video on that, about my thoughts about those movies, but this movie did so well about not falling into those rape revenge tropes. But then the lead character, who is a phenomenal actress, as well as the main villain in the movie, she just made some poor decisions that took me out of the movie a little bit. I want to know what you guys think, so I definitely recommend this movie. Watch it, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have the same frustrations with it as I did. Next up, Possessor, another amazing movie that I absolutely loved. I did do a review on this one as well. I love this movie. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's really brutally violent and and dark and creative and twisted and weird. Everything that you see, every weird piece of imagery, weird melting effect, because it's kind of it's a Brandon Cronenberg movie, David Cronenberg's son. So it's got all kinds of weird, trippy, body horror, crazy shit in it. And it was all done practically in camera. It's all in camera effects, which is just amazing. You'd think they did it all with special effects and CGI. No. They shot it all practically, and it's fucking incredible. This is a rewatch for me, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Watch my review. Just watch this movie if you're into twisted body horror, strange, like I really couldn't even tell you how I would describe this movie. It's really, really super unique. The basic premise, without giving away too much, is Andrea Riseborough, the lead character. She was also in Mandy. She played Nicolas Cage's wife in Mandy. She plays this kind of virtual assassin. There's this company that provides a service where they take two people, a host and like an avatar, and what they do is they insert like the avatar, Andrea Riseborough's character, through this process. They kind of inject her conscious into the subject, the host, and she is able to kind of take control of the other person's body. Okay, but as she does it so many times, she starts to lose control on the host body, and the host kind of realizes someone's in his brain, and they start fighting each other within. It's really, really weird, but it's really, really awesome. It's brutally violent, and it's just badass. Watch Possessor. High recommend from Justin from Movie Watch, from the internet, from YouTube, Kansas City. Fucking badass. Next up, which is the movie that I think actually knocked Saint Maud out of its #1 position in my top 10 of the year. The Stylist was amazing. You can now stream this on Arrow Player. It's the Arrow streaming service, and it's going to be getting a Arrow Blu-ray release later this spring or summer. This movie is absolutely incredible, and it actually has Kansas City ties. This movie was written and directed by a Kansas City native just right down the street from where I am. It was shot in Kansas City, and it's so cool when I'm watching this movie. I can just point out all these cool things that I recognize that are just a few blocks down from where I live. They order pizza in a movie from a pizza place that's just right down the street from me. So cool. But that didn't influence my decision on the movie. That was just icing on the cake for a badass movie. Basically, this movie, if you took aspects of the movie May and mashed them up with Maniac, you would get Stylist. Basically, you have a lead character, Claire. She plays a stylist who had a little bit of a traumatic past, which we're not 100% clear on. She's kind of an unreliable narrator in the movie, but she's a stylist who kind of just longs to kind of either be close to the people who she's like cutting their hair, or just kind of actually almost wants to be them. But you know, these people just come in from out of town, they get their hair cut, they dump all their drama and troubles and you know, all their stories on her, and Claire kind of absorbs them, but then they just go away. Once there's a scene in the movie where the person in her chair is like, you know, with my hairstylist, I feel I can just like tell you anything because I'll never see you again. And you know, they're although these people aren't trying to hurt her feelings or anything, they're just getting their hair done and leaving. All of these little conversations stick with her, and it makes her really sad. We'll call her, she gets the sads, okay? She's a little upset, and she's a little fucking psychotic, this lady, okay? I'm not gonna tell you what she does, but this chick, she's done lost her mind, okay? And she does some crazy shit with a pair of scissors, okay? This isn't a balls to the wall slasher, but there is some absolutely grisly, gruesome stuff in this movie, but it's just a really good character story. You can have gore all day long and it's fine, but if you have gore with a compelling story, it's even better. I absolutely loved this movie. It's tragic, it's sad, it's gross, it's funny at times. It's just a brilliantly made movie. I highly recommend that you stream it. It's streaming right now. Jill Six is the director. Hit her up on Instagram and tell her Movie Watch sent you. Brilliant movie. Absolutely brilliant movie. Kudos to Jill Six on this amazing piece of art that she made, because it's really, really beautiful. The costumes, the production design is incredible. The clothes that the lead character wear, they could tell they took a lot of pride in creating this aesthetic. during the aesthetic kind of changes as Claire's going through from scene to scene, whether she's getting ready to do something bad or she's just in a bad moment. You know, at times there's this gold that kind of takes over the color palette of the screen that you're watching and kind of sets the tone for what's going to happen. I could talk about that movie forever. I need to just do a standalone review of it, but absolutely beautiful movie. Watch The Stylist, streaming now on Arrow Player. And last but not least, Contracted. After seeing The Stylist, I looked up what else the lead actress has done, and I found out that she was in a movie called Contracted, which is a movie that I'd seen the poster for, I don't know, just tons and tons of times, but for whatever reason, it just didn't grab me. This movie is fucking disgusting. This is one of these gross out movies. If you're not into gross movies, gross out stuff, if you're really squeamish or you scare easy or get grossed out easy, this movie ain't the one for you. But if you dig it, sick shit like I do, you're gonna love it. The movie opens up with a scene that I will not spoil, but one of the craziest movie openings, and ambiguous, but it's still like really fucked up. Anyway, opening scene happens, and then we meet our lead character. I forget what her name is, but also played by the lead actress in The Stylist. She's going through a tough time, goes with a friend to a party. Her friend begs her to go out and party. She gets drunk. Her friend begs her to go out and party. She gets drunk and ends up making a bad decision, and she bangs some dude in a car. This dude, he got a little problem, okay? And he gives her something. He passes her a little gift that keeps on giving, a little STD gift, okay? But this just ain't no normal STD, man. This is the most fucked up STD I've ever seen, okay? Basically, I don't want to spoil anything. It's so hard to ride the balance of like telling you something that's going to entice you in, but if I tell you, it'll also kind of take away the fun of seeing it for the first time when you're watching the movie. Just trust me, man. You don't want this disease that she gets, okay? You don't. Trust me. It's disgusting. I loved every minute of it. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got a quick run time, fun story, good acting. If you like gross out movies, you'll definitely dig this one. And that's it, man. That is all I got. This is actually a second take of this. I recorded this yesterday and I was just super low energy, and then I drank a fucking energy drink tonight before I shot this, and now I'm like, woohoo and shit. So maybe this is too much energy. Maybe I need to cut down on the energy drinks. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. That is my monthly movie wrap up. Again, I do these every single month to give you guys tons of recommendations so that you guys can keep your watch list growing. That's what I love to do. Catch me this Saturday, March 6th on Garrett's channel, Born to be Rad. I will link that down below. I'm going live. We're going to be talking about my all-time favorite 80s comedy on his channel. So do that. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Comment below. Even if you comment, this dude sucks. This dude's cringe. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It still helps me. Thumbs it down. It still helps. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Stay weird, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I love movies. Gosh, I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them.